We are being joined tonight by Barrister at Law and President of the Reform Party in Cameroon, Barrister Ashu Agbo. Emmanuel, Barrister, good evening to you. Thank you so much for coming.
Good evening, Mimi. Good evening, televiewers.
I told you earlier that we are going to be discussing about the decision by the chairman of the Electoral Board that has decided, was announced, that polling stations would henceforth be delocalized in military barracks and palaces. What was your reaction after yesterday's announcement?
Well, finally, the Director General of Elections has come back to his senses, because it was pure madness to carry polling stations to locate them inside military barracks. You see, people do things and don't even look at the consequences. The law governing military barracks is not civilian law, it's military law. Any offense that is committed in a military institution goes to the military court. So you cannot carry civilians and give them access to a military barracks on election day. If they are inside there and there is any offense, they will not be tried by the civilian court that is competent during elections. They will be tried by the military court. So it is a nice thing that they have finally come back to their senses and they are taking away all those polling stations from the military barracks.
Is that the only reason why the presence of polling stations,
that is not the
military barracks and palaces was a problem?
That is not the only reason. You see, the first reason is that, you see, the military barracks is a place that is a no-go area for civilians. And if you ask people to go to the military barracks to vote, you see, there are many people who will not want to enter there because it is a no-go area. So just the mere mention of the fact that people have to enter military barracks is enough to intimidate voters. It's voter intimidation. So to pull that thing away from the military barracks is a nice thing.
And palaces too.
But who can shake the phone's hand? Which villager is mad to shake the phone's hand? You carry a police and put it inside a phone's palace. You think who will enter there? Who enters there ordinarily?
The Assistant General Manager of Elections Cameroon was justifying that it is not illegal because family members of the military personnel and the traditional authorities could take part in the voting exercise within the military barracks and within the palace.
Since he is justifying, ordinarily do soldiers have polling stations in their barracks? It's nonsense, total nonsense. I think it's a nice thing they came back to their senses. Voter intimidation is going to be reduced. Those who were supposed to go and vote inside those barracks and inside the phones palaces will now be free to go to whichever polling station they will register to vote.
Barrister, the context and the arena, the place where Eno Abrams Egbe actually made the announcement was not by chance. It was before some members of the diplomatic corps. What is the analysis that you make of the place, the persons, the personalities that were involved during that announcement?
I see it as trying to try to justify the unjustifiable. He thinks that he wants to convince the diplomats that elections can be carried on in a country that is at war. That's nonsense. The very reason that prompted them to carry polling stations to put inside military barracks and chief palaces is because of the war situation. How can you be conducting elections during wartime? You see, that is just what that is trying to do. I believe that these diplomats are not stupid. They understand, because from the reports I heard journalists give, the diplomats were worried about the civil war atmosphere. So you cannot come to tell a diplomat that, no, we are going to have free and fair elections in the civil war atmosphere. It's not possible. So let him justify whatever he has to justify. These diplomats have their observers who will see for themselves. On election day, their observers will all go out and see whether the atmosphere is conducive for elections.
Talking about the war atmosphere, that is the scenario in the northwest and the southwest regions of Cameroon. Reason why Elections Cameroon has decided to take special measures by centralizing, that is the term that they used, polling stations. They have decided to reduce the numbers and make sure that the few existing polling centers, that is how they called it, would have to be located in a particular place which would be secured so as to secure the voters as well as the Elecam officials. What do you think about this measure by Elections Cameroon?
Well, they are trying to do their best. They are trying to do their best in a bad situation, because the real truth is that no meaningful election can be carried out in that area without that civil war atmosphere disappearing. That's the real truth. I don't understand if on that election day, the area that they call polling centers are attacked by the Amber Boys. What are they going to do? Will they say that there is security? Just one gunshot is enough for everybody to flee. So I mean, why do you insist on going on with something which everybody sees is wrong? There is a civil war situation. Solve it first. You don't want to solve the civil war situation. You want to go ahead at all costs to organize the election. Let them organize.
Is that why the barrister did not take part in the presidential election?
There are so many reasons.
Because you met a media outing telling journalists here in Cameroon in general that you are going to take part.
I don't accompany anybody.
2018 presidential election.
I will not accompany anybody to his glory. You see, you understand what...
To you as an individual.
Yes, I don't...
You were saying you are going to take part in the election.
I say I don't...
What happened?
I don't accompany...
The political atmosphere?
I don't accompany anybody to his glory. You will see what they will do with their elections. All those who are dressing up that they are going for elections, they will all be disillusioned. Come what may, they are only accompanying somebody.
So you gave up because you knew...
I didn't give up. I said
I don't... It was a lost battle from the beginning.
I don't accompany anybody. When there will be good elections, Ashu will take that.
Good election? What do you mean by good elections?
Elections where the real results will be announced.
When the atmosphere it is taken.
The real results will be announced, because I know that now, come what may, they will announce whatever they want to announce.
But barrister, you knew this before announcing that you are going to take part in the election.
No. There are facts. There were facts that didn't come up. You see, there are facts that didn't come up by the time we started. But when I prepared all my documents and I was about to go and file, then I saw it. I said, but what's the need? You could see. You see, some of my colleagues came out publicly. There are many others behind who have not yet talked. There are many others. You see, it's a whole conspiracy to steal the people's victory.
At this point in time, is there any candidate that you are supporting, that you are going to be telling your supporters to rally behind?
My supporters, please, don't support anybody. Don't give anybody your vote. They are only accompanying some fellow. I will not be part of that tomfoolery.
Accompanying the opposition or the regime that has been
the regime in place
for close to 40 years,
the regime
more than
in place.
35 years.
You can see, look at what happened in Boyadurade. How the pundits of the regime went and fooled the Southern elites to go enter a hall, and then they came out to give their own position, saying that is the Southwest position. Talking
about this forum of Southwest elites, we saw the president of the Bilingualism Commission at the helm of this initiative, an authority in Cameroon whom, according to critics and observers, has to play the role of neutrality. What was your observation?
Ask them why they didn't.
When you saw that outing,
why didn't they invite people like us?
Of Cameroon?
Why was Ashu not invited? You see, they tailored out something to show their master that they are still commanding the place. It was a show. It was a theatrical piece. They avoided people who could talk and carried the CPDM stalwarts to go put up a public show. It's nonsense. They themselves know that that nonsense they did in Boyan does not represent the Southwesterners' view. They know it. Our people are dying every day. People are suffering every day.
Just to know that you are equally from the Southwest.
I'm from Manfe. Was I invited? Who invited me? They could not invite me because they know I will not stomach that nonsense. These are the same people who in Yaoundé marched that soldiers should be sent to go and kill our people. They are asking more soldiers to be sent. And after saying that nonsense, they run to Yaoundé to go and hide. Why don't they come and stay in Southwest and face the soldiers? You see, this is a conspiracy by people who have made the people suffer for years, and they are still continuing. They don't want to relent in their efforts.
But it was a meeting that was to seek for solutions and ensure effective school resumption in Cameroon, barrister.
I can see
that peace to return in the
good.
Region, according to the elites.
You see that the meeting had nothing to do with all the aims, all the goals that you are talking. They did not fix any date for school reopening. They did not put in place any measures.
There is a date for school resumption in Cameroon that is known.
They didn't fix any dates. They did not fix any date for school to resume in Southwest Province, in Southwest Region, because they know that there are no schools, there are no buildings. They took no measures for any school to resume. The schools have been burned down. What did they do to make sure that those schools are rebuilt and then children will safely go to school? You don't even know where the headmaster of those schools are or the principals are. It was just a show to please their master. And I think it is ugly at this point in time when people are suffering and we want a lasting solution to a situation. that is causing us a lot of pain, and we are losing a lot of money from this thing. People whose only goal is to stay where they are and eat fat from people suffering, go to put up a show to say that Southwesterners have said. That is not the position of Southwesterners.
Thank you so much, Barrister, for joining us tonight on
You're
Talking
welcome.
Point. We hope to have you some other time again. Thank you so much for your time. To our viewers, it was equally a pleasure having you with us in this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television. Wishing you a blessed day in the company of our programs. Until we meet again, goodbye. Next, the Zone 2.